So, welcome to Mercantile Radio. I have an international guest, an absolute legend, and someone who I've loved having conversations with over the years, Olaf Tufte. Tufte, how are you, mate?
I'm good, my friend. How are you down under?
Very well. We've just had a bit of a conversation off air, and we're comparing doing ergos. And if I get to my challenge after 30 years of getting there to 6:05 or thereabouts, 30 years after 1996, it sounds like you're up for the challenge of going below 6 minutes again. Is that right?
No, it was really bad noise. I couldn't hear it. I just had a beep.
I love it. You are, and as you said to me, if you were serious about it and you wanted to do it, you could probably get there. It does require a lot of work. I want to ask you a serious question though. The 2004 Olympic Games, I went and watched the race just recently again in your final in the single scull. I'm really interested for our audience. What was going through your mind around the 1,000-meter mark into the 1,500 when Yuri was really putting the foot down? What was going through your mind? What were you focusing on to really bring that Olympic Games performance home?
In that particular race, Yuri actually almost knocked me off my horse. Because he just, until like 2003, 2004, because Yuri didn't show up in all the races.
Right.
He was building. He was the old guy. He knew what he was doing.
Yep.
Sorry. So, and I know that I owned the third 500. That was my place.
Yep.
And coming into the final, and Yuri was in the other semifinal. And I was like, okay, just get out, get a hang of the group, and then toss me the mark, you'll push. And I did push. But he just went away.
He was going, wasn't he?
Yeah. And I was like, what's going on? No one's supposed to be on my speed on the third 500, and he just killed me. So I was like, for a few strokes, I was like getting kind of furious in my head.
Yeah.
Like what to do. And then like, stick to your plan. Because if you're feeling tired, he has to be tired.
Yeah.
So I used a couple of strokes to just flick back into my workshop, and I think like every rower actually learned, stay in your lane.
Stick to your process, right?
Yeah. I'm glad I had a few races before, so and definitely that I trusted what we'd done on the way into the Athens.
Yes.
Because my trust to what I'm good at was the key. Otherwise, I would be totally off.
Yeah. And technically, I'm going to ask you about your physical training in a second, but technically, what were you working on in the single? Because you came out of the double and you'd been in the 4 in 96, double in 2000, and all of a sudden you're getting a chance to row the single scull. There's a few things about the way you were moving, like it had really great rhythm, really effective. It just sort of, it had the look of you could keep winding up through the gears. But what was it technically that you actually focused on?
Learn to row. I'm serious. I came into rowing quite late.
Yep.
I never learned how to row or scull as a teenager. So going through the years, I was always lucky because I was always the worst guy in the boat. But I had a crazy mind, and I had an okay physics. So I had to learn to row and do all the stuff. So Fredrik, who was actually my partner in Sydney 2000, he was a really good sculler.
Yep.
So he probably learned me the most about the stroke rowing. And I also used him after he quit after 2000. I also used him. I talked with him. I had him come over to watch my rowing, because he can put words on the feeling like you and I can do when we talk rowing.
Yes.
So I was in our mind, I was always behind technically. So I had to work on the technique. I don't know if I ever managed to get there, but some of my races are quite okay.
Yeah.
But as say when people talk about, well, he's really good physics, but his technique is bad and he's good in the head or whatever. Like, rowing is so complex.
Yeah.
You need endurance, you need strength, you need technique, you need the feeling of the boat, and you need your head screwed on right. So when you put me in pieces, I'm not best in anything.
Yep.
But altogether is not too bad. But I had to row on what I was good at.
Yes.
I was really good at sending the boat.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But what I was when I was on the worst, I was really good at stopping the boat as well. So you know, like, you worked with this so many times with letting the boat just flow and don't disturb the boat. So I could have really high speed out of the water and letting the boat run.
Yep.
But then when I went forward to catch the boat, then my boat really, hello. So we've been working a lot on this on our way, especially 2002 and 3 and into 4.
Yes.
To catch up the boat and let it run.
Yep. Love it. And then, because I saw your ability with your body swing, like that middle and finish body swing seemed to be the thing that allowed you to keep going up through the gears. Was it something you trained a lot? Was it something you did? You know, I know I talked to Marty Aiken recently about Zeno Muller, and he described doing winds regularly at the end of sessions. The Searle brothers did the same thing. You don't have that skill unless you practice it a few times. What was the focus in training to allow you to do that at the back end of the race?
When I was training a lot with in a single scull with the whole team in the early stages, we always did fool around in the end of the session and small sprints, and like we played with the boat.
Yes.
And I was quite strong. So I figured out, like, if I managed to use my strength into the water, I was quite quick and strong.
Yep.
And then you have to put that into the oars and let the oars actually work with you.
For you, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you try to kill the oars and don't wait for it, then you just waste all the energy. So somehow I managed to make that quite okay.
Yep.
So I can sprint fast to the last 250. Then I managed to start after I actually did 2K with Olympic racing.
Yes. So
with like 17 lactate, I did manage to put my boat in a higher speed than I actually managed out from the start platoon.
Wow.
Don't ask me why.
Yeah.
But Frederick and me did a lot of it in a double, and I learned how to do it in a single.
Yep.
But making that speed is one thing, because you have to shorten down the stroke and really hit the boat.
Yes.
So you have to learn how to really hit the boat. But then again, you have to adapt more length. Otherwise, you just...
Yep.
It dies.
Yep.
This is kind of my recipe that I had to analyze. What am I doing? And how can I get the force into the boat so I actually move it and then just increase it?
Yes. Yep.
So I found out, like, if I'm gonna really do a good sprint, I have to prepare myself with 10 hard strokes. So I lower my speed a little bit, and then 10 strokes to get my boat in accelerating.
Yeah.
And then I can do it.
Yep.
If I hit my boat when the speeds are turning down because I'm tired, that was a bad idea.
Yep.
And then I used about 3 or 4 strokes, quite short, really strong. And then I had to start getting my length. Just throw it forward and just go for it. Don't look and see if you can make the catch.
Just go.
Just go for it. And it worked.
I love that. I love what you described about generate the speed first, that then gives you acceleration. And then as it's accelerating, then you really go for it. And it's almost like don't hesitate kind of concept. You know, if you're going to get ultimate acceleration, you've got to throw all thought out and almost just follow it, right?
Yeah. But it's not something I just came up with in a race.
Nah.
I have practiced it in my head
A lot.
on the water so many times, and then I know I'm good at it.
Yep. And for you, crossing that line on that day, because obviously that's a breakthrough moment. I know you had some world championships the years before, but for the Olympic Games, after you've been to 2 Olympic experiences, what was that like? What was the emotion of all that for you?
It's kind of the first thing you actually think is like, I'm done.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm done. And then, shit, I did it. We did it. Because as you know, it's like so much expectation from yourself and the team coming in. You know you're good enough, and that's almost the worst thing, because you know you're good enough, but you have to manage to perform what you know you can.
Yes.
And the better shape I am at, the more nervous you get, because you know you're able.
Yeah.
If you're not able, I'm not nervous at all, because I know I'm not going to do it.
Yes.
But the nerves is all about, do I manage to put out everything I know I can? So for me, when I saw that I was passing up jury the last 250, when I just let it go, I was like, I could keep rowing all the way to the coast.
Amazing.
Yeah, because you know how it is when you do something and you see like, shit, it works.
Yep.
It just gives you so much energy.
Yeah, you're in flow, right?
Yeah. And then that sprint, it was an okay sprint. I hit it quite okay.
Yeah. And the emotions of, I don't know, we raced a number of regattas and we're always on the water similar times. And so, knowing how hot and dry it was in Athens, right next to the Aegean Sea, we were fortunate to not have windy conditions in the final day. But what was it like moments after, you crossed that finish line? Were you really fully gassed? Had you given it absolutely everything? Nothing more left out there?
When you win a race like that, even if I died crossing that finish line, I will come up fresh. The feeling is like kind of crazy, because you are exhausted, you are half dead, but just the emotion that you managed to do something. So I would just like, Yuri probably, he was dead.
Yes.
And he stayed dead until the pontoon. Well, I could just dance around and be happy and so much energy.
Euphoric.
Yeah, it is. It's and it's hard to describe.
Yeah, it's a special feeling.
You actually have to do it yourself.
Yep.
To describe it.
So let's.
And you don't,
Absolutely. So let's go back a little bit for our audience. Obviously, we've got a lot of young rowers and masters rowers in Australia who listen to this, and so where did it all begin for you? You talk about being late to start, but obviously your start was pretty good. What was it like when you first got on the water, those first rowing experiences? Were you someone that was thrown into sweep boats, sculling boats, big boats, small boats? What was it like in Norway for you?
Well, I was I started to train quite late. I was like 16, 17 when I entered the club.
Yep.
Just to do winter training, because I was actually doing motocross. So I met a few of the rowers. They came to my farm to do motocross, and they were rowers. They were some of the best guys, juniors in Norway.
Yes.
So since they trained with me in the summertime doing motocross and having fun, I didn't have enough money to go down south in Europe and do motocross during winter. So I said, like, okay, can I come and train with you? Because I need some more endurance. So I entered the rowing club, and I think every training for at least the 2 or 3 first months.
Yes.
I did that 2K and a 500 every single session.
Did you really?
After the workout.
I love it.
And I did a PB more or less every time. So it's like, and then my coach has been my coach for 35 years in the club. He's like, we're missing a guy for the nationals in the summertime. and you have to sit in the boat. I was like, no, I'm doing motocross. This is for me. So, but anyway, like they forced me into rowing, and since there were 3 guys, and we were doing doubles and a little bit single, and I was swimming. 2 of the guys went to the double, and the 3rd guy, he sent his mom down to the club. Is like, my son is not going to row with Olaf because he can't row. This is no go. Yeah. So it's like kind of funny. But in the end of it, it's like I was in the bow in the straight 4, and they learned me how to put the oar in the water and try not to destroy everything. And so after 3 months, we took 3 national gold medals, straight 4, the 8, and the quad.
Wow.
Then we were sent off to Scandinavian Championship, and we beat the Danish, who was like junior final material. So then they sent her off to junior worlds, and we made it to the final. We celebrated the final. That was a big learning curve. So we lost the edge coming into the final. We should have been fighting about the bronze.
Oh, there you go.
We ended up 6.
Wow.
But we were a clean club team. That's quite rare in Norway.
Yes.
When you're rowing a big boat.
Right.
So we were really happy. And then that was my sweeping year. And in 95, I kept training rowing because I was kind of curious what's this all about, because I went quite okay. So then I need to learn how to scull. And in 95, they were missing 1 guy to do the under 23 championship in Groningen in Netherlands. And so Frank Hansen, the old Olympic champion. They asked him, like, we need a 4th guy. Do you know anyone? And he's, there's a crazy farmer down in Horten. he can't row yet, but give him a shot. So then they learned me how to scull, and I ended up in the quad. We did the silver in under 23s.
Wow.
So that was that was quite good, because then I can row both of them. Sweep and sculling. So then in 96, 3 crazy guys wanted to go for the Olympics. And then they called me again, like in November. Hey, you want to go to the Olympics? And like, we don't go to the Olympics. No, come on. We're going to move to Spain for a couple of months and just train.
Train down there.
And with a Russian coach, totally crazy. And everybody who watched us, they said, like, go home.
Really?
Then, yeah. That's doesn't gonna work. But we trained with Mikhail Ivanov, the old Russian guy, and he almost killed us. And then we start to rise, and we beat you guys in Duisburg.
Correct.
96.
I was looking for results, and while we didn't know each other at the time, I was looking back through the results, having conversations with you, going, how do we intercept? And it was like, they got a Duisburg result on us.
And then we ended up in Lucerne for the last qualification.
Yes.
And we were just allowed to enter it from the Norwegian Olympic Committee. But then Spain was good. Russia was much better.
Yes.
So we were like, we're looking to fight about 2nd or 3rd. In that regatta. But on the day of the regatta, the Russian committee didn't guarantee their boat to go to the Olympics if they qualified. So they had to stand down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So this is the qualifying regatta the week after Lucerne, right?
Yeah. And Spain led us for 1,900 meters.
No.
And I told the guys in the boat, like, they're going to go crazy, but they always die in the end. So whatever, just keep pushing. We will make it. And I was like, shit, I told them they're going to die. They have to die.
It's not working.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so actually in 96 Olympics, what was the tightest field ever. I watched that final so many times. And on 1750, it's 5 boats
Incredible,
on
right?
the start line.
Yeah.
And you guys were like 2 meters ahead.
Yep.
And in that semi-final, we were the only boat that year leading Italy
Yes.
for the first 700-800 meters. We just went for it.
Yep.
And then we died a little bit in the middle, and then we managed to keep up the speed, but lost for Croatia with 2.5 or something.
Yeah. And they were a good crew as well, right?
Oh, yeah. They were in the final.
Yep.
They did it well. I think they were number 5 in the final, which was a really close one.
Yeah.
But, yeah. That was
amazing.
That was the start.
That was the start of it, right? And interestingly, so I didn't know. I knew motocross was your background. I didn't know how close to motocross and then rowing start it was, but we probably started similar sort of age. I was 17 as well, 16, 17 as well, starting late in school. It's just amazing to think we've got a lot of young rowers these days and a lot of coaches who feel that you've got to start rowing when they're in year 8 at school, year 7 at school, much earlier days. But you having a background in another sport and then transitioning, that's a key to success, right?
Yeah. Well, I done almost every sport you could think of.
Yep.
Before I started rowing. And then people think that motocross, well, they're just sitting on the bike and using trolling. And the fun thing, I argued with so many rowers or athletes about rowing versus motocross and vice versa.
Yep.
And I'm like, why the hell do we argue? Because have you been driven motocross on a high level and row?
Yeah.
No. Have I? Yes. Yeah. So why do you argue? Because in motocross, you do like 30 minutes on a pole straight 180.
Amazing, right?
Yeah, just all the way. And what I actually really took with me from motocross is like, yeah, you do the same track, but the track is different for every round.
Yes.
And suddenly you have a guy falling in front of you. You have to always be on and be able to move around.
Yep.
So coming into rowing, I found that like I can have 20 lactate and my coach can give me a message, and I'll manage to actually change what I'm doing.
Amazing.
And for me, that ended up to be one of my strong sides. Every time the coach told me something, I was able to at least try to do a difference.
Yes.
But a lot of athletes, when they start to peak, they don't manage to move anything else. That's just the same thing, the same mistakes all over.
Absolutely.
But this is it's a good thing. But the reason why I actually managed to be quite so fast in top performance, it's like I have so many years of body work on my farm.
I was going to say, farming.
Yeah. So I didn't know about this when I was 18, 19 years old, but when I learned about physiology and stuff like that, I went back and like, okay, what have I done? Why did I become the second best on the erg in 2 months?
Yep.
Why did I manage to stick? Every time we died on the water doing intervals in the 4, there's like 3 guys in front of me laying dead out of the water. And I was like, yeah, that was quite tough. What's next?
Yes.
But the thing was like, when I was 17, I had 10,000 hours in my body.
Yep.
Yeah. And because I thought it was fun to work with my body on the farm. And I like to push it.
Yep.
So when I wasn't allowed to use the chainsaw or the winch, because I was just 10, 12, 11 years old, I dragged the timber out. I carried it on my shoulders.
Yep.
So 3, 4, 5 hours, I was peaking.
Yeah.
So I was peaking for 2 minutes, having my rest, walking back to the next wooden stock, and then that one. So everything else I met, that was like, I wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I love that. I had a conversation with Lucy Steffen, Tokyo gold medalist in the women's 4, and she was a country kid from Nil. And she said that was her theory, was all the country kids that came to boarding school and then rode on in life was almost like they were the ones that were the better rowers, but partly because of that physicality growing up as kids. What other sporting activities were you doing as a teenager? So motocross was there, obviously working on the farm was there. Any other activities you were doing like cross-country skiing and things?
Well, I was doing everybody done football,
Yep.
gymnastics, karate, skiing, cycling, running. So you do all kinds of sports. And then even when I started rowing, being serious about rowing, I always kept myself busy with other things as well.
Yes.
I did my training, and then I went down playing squash, playing football, go cycling, whatever. And a lot of rowers went like after the season, that's when you can have some fun, do some sprint racing and other regattas, which is more fun.
Yep.
Most of the years I dropped my horse after the World Championship for a while and went training with other athletes.
Yes.
So my down month was October normally.
Yep.
And that was my lowest training rate, and that was like 80 hours.
There you go.
And then all the work beside.
Yep.
But then I just had fun.
Yeah.
And then when I picked up I still rode a little bit, but I had a lot of fun and learning from other sports, adapting, testing out new things. And then when November came, I picked up more and more rowing, but I kept having fun with the other sports.
Love that.
So, and I think we do that. We have to do more because we are so focused on being specialized in what we do that we actually put the brakes on.
Yep.
We actually forget to look the long picture and say, I want to be good in 8 years.
Yes. Yep.
That's a long way to look.
Yep.
But you have to have all the puzzles. You have like, okay, so endurance, this is this block, strength is this block, and then mobility and stuff like that. And then you have to actually go in and, okay, this 4 months, strength is priority number 1.
Yes.
So then I have to adapt, and like I can do endurance on easy level because that's not going to kill my strength training. But then I have to eat as well.
Yes.
But if you start doing too much intervals and the strength, then you kill both of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then again, the fun part is like if you do a lot of erg, you will gain weight. You will gain muscles.
Yeah.
I done this test so many times, and they didn't believe me because we actually did strength and food. They were registering everything. So I was like 97 kilos.
Yep.
And my body fat was, I don't know what it was, but it was like probably like 11 or something. And then 6 weeks later, I was 97 kilos and my body fat was like 6 or 7. And they were like, oh, so you only did weights and easy
rowing,
long distance and not too much erg.
Yep.
And I was like, hell no. I did so much erg and I did my intervals and I was just pushing. They didn't believe me.
Yep.
So we took the test 3 or 4 years in a row, the same result.
How's that?
Because a rowing stroke is like more or less 60 to 70 kilos
of weight.
Yeah.
Yep. And I remember you saying to me one time, and I'm going to do 2 things here. So I'm going to come back and ask you about the Beijing build-up and racing Mahe through that period of time. But I remember you saying to me one time about going to altitude and you were getting through 200 plus Ks of rowing. You're probably doing gym work and a few other activities as well. And at the time, that seemed like it was either leading into 2004 or leading into 2008. But at the time, that was not completely new, but it was out there. Like it was pushing the boundaries, particularly at altitude, than what a lot of crews have been doing. But it sounds like you weren't just paddling along and doing that really easy base sort of work. You're actually pushing yourself quite intently. So walk me through that sort of philosophy of what sort of intensity were you doing and how was that work being done and how much volume versus how much threshold versus how much race work?
Oh, that's a big one. We're going to have a few hours.
We'll come back and we'll do 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah. Well, altitude training has been in Norwegian rowing for 50 years.
Yes.
we are quite familiar with altitude, and we know quite a lot about it. And we have the Olympic Performance Center, who has a really good physiologist and all the skiers doing it. Blah blah blah.
Yep.
So I have more than 3 years of my life in altitude. So as far as I know, it's only one Norwegian athlete who has more days in altitude than me, and that's Ole Einar Bjørndalen,
Yep.
the pilot. Yeah. So, but people think I only been crazy. Just like, well, he just crazy. He push and yeah, I am crazy. And I think my biggest thing is like recovery.
Yes.
I don't need so many hours of sleep. I just need a little bit food and change of scenery, and then I'm quite okay.
Good to go.
But going through the years with some health issues and the age and stuff like that, I have to start think and reorganize and learning from what I have done. So that's probably the biggest thing going after 2008.
Yes.
Until that, I was like Superman.
Yeah.
Nothing could hurt me.
Yeah.
And then suddenly in 2009, my body died in Poznan.
Yep. Caught up with you.
Yeah, and it took me 5 years to get back.
Wow.
So I have to change everything. But coming into to the altitude, as a young rower, I did all the mistakes you can do.
Yep.
But it didn't give me any effect.
Interesting.
If anyone else would do the same as I did in the altitude, they would be off for half a year.
Yeah. Yep.
It was too hard. It was too much.
Yep.
And then I had to learn about altitude training and have the good discussions with the people who actually, I had to reckon that the physiologist who's been around for 4 years,
Yep.
he knows a little bit. So
some knowledge.
Try to listen. Yeah. Try to listen, test it, and see how it goes.
I get the impression you would have been a difficult athlete to work with as a physiologist at times, and maybe even for the coach at times.
Oh, yeah.
He's coming through, Olaf.
I remember we were skiing in the altitude, and there's like low intensity, lactate, maximum 2.5. Don't push it. And I just kept running after one of the guys who was really good on skis.
Yeah.
And they were like, Olaf, come and have a test. And I just walked around them, just keep pounding on. And so our coach, mentor, he put himself in the middle of the ski loops.
Yeah.
And just stop. And I was so tired. I walked my skis into all his equipment, and he almost killed me. He was so pissed. But I learned from the older and the wiser.
Yes.
It just took a couple of years to actually reckon that high altitude is actually quite serious.
Yeah.
So I had to do my mistakes and come back. And then when you're going to do altitude training, the best athletes, I believe, is the best to stretch the training.
Yep.
When you do easy training, it's easy enough. Otherwise, if you do easy training too hard, you don't have energy to do the hard enough.
Yep. Love that.
And this is a typical thing when you are unsure. So you start to push your easy training.
Yep.
And then lack of energy, the power training comes down. So you have like this
narrow band. Yep.
Yeah. So I remember going with Fredrik in the double, sitting in Munich before the World Cup, and Katarina Karsten was just passing us in the single. And I was like, Fredrik, a woman just passed us in the single. What are you doing? And he was like, I don't care. And he was just yelling. And I was furious. But 7 years later, I understood what he was doing.
Worked it out. Yep.
Yeah. So, and in altitude, for me, we made a program in the altitude, which we were really stretching. I remember I did 110 hours in 3 weeks in the altitude.
Wow. How's that?
and I can say I wasn't really fit when I came down. I was skinny. I was tired, but I wanted to push the limits. See how far can I go?
Yes.
Because the most important thing we did was like we found the key to get back.
Yep.
Because that's the dangerous zone. When you train a lot and it goes poorer and poorer, but it's just a little bit poorer so you don't reckon.
Yeah.
And then a little bit more. And then in the end, it's just going to blow off.
Yep.
So we used a few parameters which you can just see or smell on your body.
Yep.
To actually see how are you, where are we, and do you have to actually adjust. So I ended up, after so many years, I have a solid program in altitude. What am I doing the last couple of days going down?
Yes.
What am I doing the first days coming out?
Yep.
And that's really important. Otherwise, you're going to destroy the whole camp.
All the work. Yep.
Yeah. So it's again, a lot of people think I'm just crazy, but when they test what I'm doing, it works.
Yeah. And those parameters of measuring to monitor, what were they that you were using?
One of the few times I actually use heart rate is altitude.
Yes. Yep.
Because your body will fool you.
Yep.
Your heart rate goes easy quite up, and you don't feel that you have lactate.
Yeah.
That's kind of frustrating until you adjust after a few days, and then a lot of lactate.
Yep.
Lot of lactate testing, and then also I use, for example, how's your sleep?
Yep.
Because that tells you something about how your body is.
Yeah.
How's your hunger for food?
Yep.
When you get tired, you don't get hungry.
Yeah, you go past it, right?
Yeah. How's your pulse into your intervals? How does it feel?
Yep.
Are you tired on interval 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yep.
Or are you tired just 1, 2, and then you wake up?
And then you get better. Yep.
Yeah. So that tells me in which stage of tiredness you are.
Yes.
So when you never wake up and your pulse doesn't get up, you're too tired.
Yep. Too far.
If you feel fresh, or if you're fresh on the first one, you can do more.
Correct.
So that's kind of the easy, and then emotional and stuff like that. And then something I always use, but then people just laugh and think I'm just joking around. But when I talk to the guys coming into altitude training, I ask them, so how's your morning wood?
How's your morning wood?
And they're like, what? Yeah. Was it there when you woke up? Does it come?
It's not there
during breakfast? Yeah. But then people think I'm kidding. But the first thing that goes away when you get tired is two things: white blood cells.
Yes.
Testosterone.
Yep. That's an indicator. Love it.
Yeah. So, and that's the easy parameters to actually use. So when you use those,
yep.
Sleep, food, when in the intervals are you waking up, stuff like that, and put the morning wood on top, then you can actually balance your body quite well.
Yes. Yeah.
But you have to be honest.
Yeah. Correct.
And I think that's the hardest part.
Yep.
Don't try to overthink. Be honest.
Yeah. And don't try to impress others like the coach and teammates and all that sort of stuff. You just got to be true to yourself, don't you?
Yeah. That's so important.
Yeah. The one you've said there that I really like, and I experienced it a lot, which was when you do intervals, your point about, do you come good or do you get locked in fatigue and you're not coming good and it's not working? And when I did endurance cycling, you could be really tired at the start of a ride and it'd take 15, 20, 30 Ks for your body just to wake up. And then all of a sudden it came good and you were like flying and it's like, wow, I didn't expect this ride to go like this. And the days where that wasn't happening and you get through 60 or 70 Ks, it's almost like there's no point. Let's just turn around and go home. Like you're not getting any benefit by doing it that way, fighting it. Love that. So let's talk you and Mahe, and obviously...
And I have to add.
Yeah.
Because Because the thing that happens that people are doing so wrong is when you have that fatigue feeling in the start,
Yes.
they start to push for the numbers.
Yeah. Rather than just letting it happen.
I should be on this number.
Yep.
And what you do then is that you just create lactate, fatigue, and you're done.
Yes. Yeah.
If you turn off all the numbers and just let your body wake up,
feel it. Yep.
then you will have that feeling you're talking about.
Yeah.
Then you wake up. So that's why it's important to don't go by numbers in the start. Let the body get along. When I coaches people, I tend to throw away heart rate monitors. Just you're supposed to train.
Yeah.
Learn your body. Tell me what you have. Tell me what you feel.
Yep, love that. That's an awesome insight. Awesome insight. And I think the one for me, is very much feeling it as you go and then trusting the feeling. And then when you bring numbers back in, you're just using that as a relativity or benchmark sort of process rather than fighting for the number. So I was going to ask before, so you, Beijing, 2008, you and Mahe obviously had races over those years. Tell us a little bit about that sort of racing and that sort of rivalry. And you had Andre Senek as well, and those really good guys like Alan Campbell and stuff like that. It was a really interesting period of that sort of 4 years, wasn't it? Tell us about that.
Oh, that's a 4 wonderful years. I mean, good mates going out trying to kill each other and then go back out of the boat and just be happy for another.
For each other.
I mean, if Ma won, good on you.
Yep.
I'll come back and catch you up later. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I ever seen that kind of friendship in the single sculling before or after.
Interesting.
But that's the way I like to do things. I don't like to look at people and try to scare them off. And,
yep.
I mean, they do their thing as good as they can. I do my thing, and then we fight to see who did the best.
Yeah.
I was in New Zealand being coached by Mahe's coach. I took Mahe to Norway. I took him into the Olympic Sports Center, showed him what I was doing with gymnastics and support training, stuff like that. Just having fun.
Yep.
But again, real serious because always want to win.
Yep.
So yeah, it's and I think that's why I walk around with this family cap when I'm around rowing, because we are a big family.
Yeah, love that. Love that. And so then the Beijing Games, I mean, I know what the experience was like. I was injured there, obviously, but managed to get through. Hot and humid conditions, that challenged everyone. How did you go about dealing with those conditions to really get the best out of yourself? And so different to Athens conditions, wasn't it?
Coming into Beijing, we had a metaphor for our boat. Best prepared.
Love it.
So that was one out of two things our focus was on. Whatever happens, I'm going to be prepared for it.
Yep.
And number two is like, we knew that when I row well, I'm fast. I'm more than fast enough when I row well.
Yep.
But when I row poorly, it's way off. So coming into Beijing, our focus was like, this is my top level, this is my lower level. Raise my 80% as close to 100 as possible.
Yep.
So the average of my stroke is as good as possible.
Yeah, love that.
So that was my coach is quite clear, like, Olaf, when you pull like you should and hit the water, you fly. And you'll probably outrow the most of your competitors. But when you're down to bad rowing, they just leave you behind.
Yep.
So we need to do something about it.
Yes.
So I used a lot of gymnastics. I used what do you call it? Jesus. Help me out.
Pilates, yep. I was about to say yoga. Yeah. It could have been yoga, by the way.
Close. Yeah, definitely. It can be everything. I did ballet.
Did you
actually?
Really?
Yeah.
Love it.
Don't ask me to do any performance, but
Pirouette.
the thing was like I went to the best Norwegian ballet dancer. I had some sessions to
Amazing.
learn about my body, to push myself outside my comfort zone,
Yep.
stuff like that. I had a crazy mental coach. She pushed me really hard on doing things I didn't like to learn.
Fantastic.
And together with this Pilates instructor, who is probably, I would say, top 3 in the world, she just scanned my body and told me what I had to work on, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
So coming into Beijing, I was so complete in my body.
Yes.
So I was able to do more or less the same stroke 250 times in a row.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So for me, that was it. I mean, okay, Mahe went sick. He would probably do another race if he was 100%.
Yep.
And I'm really sorry for him being sick. But again, that's part of the game. Stay fresh.
Yep.
Definitely. And then looking into it, I was sitting in the finish because I went early. The coach told me, you have to go earlier than you think.
Yep. And what was that?
So I went from 300 meters out.
Yep.
I had to start go. And that's the 5 strokes I actually pull away from all day.
Yeah.
And on the way to the finish line, when I actually catched up Mahe, I was like, don't take the next level. Just keep it. Because I felt I had one more. If I had to, I could do one more.
Yep. One more kick up.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's just, don't just sit here. It's okay.
That's really cool. And go back to the start line for me. And this is for our audience. What's your 10 minutes, 30 minutes like leading into, really bringing yourself into that space of getting the very best out of yourself and hearing what you're describing, Olaf, about your very best versus your worst and bringing that closer together. I love that. What mental skills did you have? Because ultimately that 30, 40 minutes before the start, is very much that mental thing of getting yourself right to that zone and ready to go. What did you do to get yourself ready for the big races?
Oh shit! I was so nervous. I don't think I ever slept much in front of a big race.
Really?
Yeah, my head is just turning around. When I entered the race, I probably raced the race 50, 60 times.
Yep.
And all kinds of stuff. I have a long story about my first stroke in Beijing, which is so good. So if you watch it again, you'll see that I actually stopped after one stroke.
Really?
I stopped and finished, and like, shit, that was good. Oh, I'll take another 2 for me now.
So you nailed it and then go, how good's this?
Yeah, because that was exactly how we prepared it from my mental coach.
There you go.
So that's actually quite a funny story because we went all the preparations. She came to my hotel.
Yep.
Do all the preparation mentally, and then she left. And she was like 90 minutes off for the taxi.
Wow.
And she was in the taxi for more than an hour, and she's like, it's something which is not good enough. I have to go back. So she turned around, came back to my hotel 10:15 or something in the evening. She didn't knock. She just went straight into my room and like, Olaf, get on the couch. We have to do it again. And I was like, what the fuck? I was starting to preparing, and you know how it is when people kind of knock you off your horse.
Yep.
But in the respect of her and everything we did, I'm like, okay. So she wasn't happy with my first stroke.
Really?
Which has been one of my issues always.
Yep.
Because I used too much power and I kind of moved up into the wrong way and stuff like that.
Yep.
So we went in and did my first stroke again. And then after 10 minutes, she's like, now we're good. Good night.
How good's that?
And she went off. So, and when I took my first stroke in Beijing, that was like, when you going to go through a door and you take down the handle, and somebody else on the other side do the same thing, you just get goosebumps.
Yep.
That was my first stroke.
Amazing.
Exactly how I told her I felt with the spin on my oar, how my legs moves out.
Yep.
And the oar just catches up all the energy before I leave the water.
Yep.
I actually get goosebumps now. Coming back in. Yeah, it's every time I talk about it because it's in here. But that feeling was like, wow. And I was like, shit. Oh, we have to go on at 229 more strokes. So it's kind of amazing. And that was probably one of my best starts ever.
Wow.
Going through. And I was leading before 1,000 meters.
Yes. Yeah.
So I got nervous. Because I was like, you never lead on 1,000 meters, Olaf. What are you doing?
What's going on?
So I actually held back on the third 500. I was afraid I used too much energy on the second 500 because I was flying.
Yeah.
So I held back what I was supposed to actually push.
Yep.
And in my mind, that's why I'm not totally satisfied with the race.
With the race.
Because I actually went a little bit off my plan.
Yep.
And Ma had pushed hard on the third 500.
Didn't he?
And went straight. I think he actually took almost 2 lengths on me.
Yep.
On the third 500. And I was like, now I really blew it up because I went off my race plan. But again, then on the third 500, I had a little bit more energy left than I was supposed to have.
Yep.
So I was quite strong coming into that sprint. So I was just looking for, okay, so when am I going to go? When are we going to go? Okay, now we go. And that's kind of that's an amazing feeling because I think 90% of the races, you're looking for the boy that you put up as a marker.
Yep.
Oh, where's that boy? When can I go? But when you have a good race, it's like, oh shit, here it is. Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah, just fly by.
Yeah, I love that, and that's. I mean, it's so funny to hear you about the third 5 because you did lead it. I remember watching that afterwards and going like, oh, he's in a different position here to what he'd normally do, And so to hear you describe that thought process, because I think for some of our audience, in particular young athletes, it's almost like these are the thoughts that are going on in your head. And what you just said is you've actually deviated from your plan ever so slightly. Now, it hasn't cost you the result, but it's amazing how that dissatisfaction with, I could have really kept going with my plan, but you didn't know if you're actually going to be able to make it to the end. Just fascinating. What was it like that night? Obviously, you know, I always loved, and there's a bit of envy about the sculling group you described at that period, have a great connection. Did you all catch up with each other that night or the next few days at the Olympic Games? And what was that like?
Actually, in that Olympic Games, we didn't catch up that much because Kiwis are always really good at celebrating and taking care of their own. The same with the GB team, and then we had our kind of thing. But we stayed in touch and we hook up later and stuff like that.
Yep.
And sometimes when I didn't actually do well, but Mahe probably won, then I went with Mahe to his party and had a good time. I mean, I just love that with rowing and what we had, but all the way on the pontoon and everything, it's like taking care of each other, having good conversations, and you kind of feel that the hugs you get are real.
Yeah.
It's not something you just get just to be a nice guy. You can feel that they appreciate the fight. They acknowledge that you won or vice versa.
Yes.
Yeah. Same with Andre Senig, like, he's the kindest guy you can ever meet. He looks like a mean bastard, but he's the softest guy.
But I love that. I think what you just said about the respect amongst the athletes, and it was a period that I remember watching a few times where you'd sort of see you guys all come together particularly on the dais and all that sort of stuff. And, what the scullers do in terms of lifting up the person who succeeded and all that sort of stuff is also really cool. Now, let's just talk a little bit. Obviously, we've gone back in time. You kept going on to Rio. What was that like as an older athlete? You talked a little bit about having a 5-year period where you're really struggling with getting your body right and all that sort of stuff. But, you see older athletes now, it's not still the norm, but you lasted a long, long time in the sport and performed exceptionally well at the same time. What was that like for you?
Well, I just loved rowing. I loved being on that team and go on the water, performing, and see if you can be better.
Yep.
The hard period was when I got sick and just refused to let go.
Yeah.
No one's gonna decide when I'm gonna quit. I quit when I decide to.
Yep.
So I almost managed to build me up until London. Actually, on the warm up in the semi-final, I was like, now I can feel the boat.
Yes.
Now I would never win in London. Never.
Yep.
I probably wasn't able to grab a medal either. But in that semi-final, I went in and yes, I just found it. And then we can talk about waves and how many seconds difference there are in the lanes. That could be another episode. But I was ready, and I had Marcel in my semi-final.
Yep.
And I know he's my key into the final.
Yes.
Because I know that if I'm on Marcel on 1,000 meters, he will crack.
Yep.
Because we have this rivalry for so many years.
Many years,
He knows that I will take him down if he doesn't move away, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And I think I was so eager that I actually forgot a little bit about the circumstance. Just went out of that start block with my boat kind of 45 degrees the wrong way.
Oh, no.
Straight into the buoys. Lost my oar and just went back on it, catching Marcel back up.
Yep.
At around 1,000 meters, I was on his boat, but I used so much energy. That he managed to move a little bit away.
Yep.
And that kind of blew me up. So it's that was I would never probably make a medal, but that would be in the final, and that would be okay.
Yeah.
After all the struggle. But that took me quite a long time to get back, and I wasn't back until 15.
Yes. And I remember you and I talking, maybe it was Lucerne around 13 or 14, and you could really tell you were working through trying to find your mojo again, trying to find that form, but also, what were the things that were going to take you to another level of performance? It was quite fascinating watching your desire to work through that process, but your enthusiasm too. You seem to be really open to the idea of, I'm going to keep problem solving this until I get there,
I remember after London, I took a year off competition. And then everybody wanted me to quit. You're done, you're old, you're finished. And I was like, yeah, maybe I am. But no one's going to tell me to quit.
Yep.
And if I go out now with not the result, but the feeling of failure, that's going to haunt me the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to row until I feel that it's okay.
Yep.
And then I can decide if I'm going to quit again. So I collected 10 of the people who's been around me for the last 25 years.
Yep.
We were around my kitchen table where I'm sitting now. And I was like, okay, so I'm not ready to quit. I want to come back. But I reckon I need to do changes.
Yes.
I need to change my rowing style because I row myself down and out.
Yep.
I need to do something with my training because of the illness and my age. I need to do something with my surroundings, blah, blah, blah. So everybody, be honest. What do you think? What do I need to do? Shit, that was heavy.
How's that?
everybody drew their knives and guns and just went up.
They gave it to you.
Oh shit, yeah, hell yeah. But in my head, it's like they did it with love.
Yes. Yep.
But they were dead honest.
Yep.
So we ended up agreeing how we should do it, and for the next 6 months on the water, the juniors was rowing around me, circles. I felt so shit. But I promised my coach I will never go back to power before I have the stroke
Yep.
finished. So it's like, yeah, it was, I think most people would just quit.
Yeah. Yep.
I felt so, I mean, come on, like double Olympic champion, double world champion in the single. And I was rowing like 8 minutes 15 on a 2K if I should do that. It was like horrible. But then I actually managed to get back.
Yeah.
And in Beijing, actually, let's go to 215.
Yep.
Agibillet. I ended up number 4, age 39. If you go and watch that semi-final against the Belarus guy,
Yep.
that's exactly how I describe by slowing it down, push it up, and go for it.
Yep.
I let him pass me on the 200-meter mark.
That's interesting.
So, yeah, and when I watched it back up, I was like, shit, that was close. But I felt totally in control.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I knew if I'm going now, he's going to come through me.
Yes.
I need to wait until I know I'm going to reach the finish line.
Yep.
Yeah, so I did and just jumped ahead and qualified for the final. and this is scene where I describe the biggest thing for me on the rowing venue ever. When I qualified for that final in 2015 as number 3 in the semi-final.
Yep.
I qualified for the final. I qualified for Olympic Games in the single. When I turning up the boat and passing the grandstands, everyone was shouting my name.
How cool.
My competitors' family, all the coaches, all the boat builders, everybody was clapping and shouting my name. Not because I won anything. I didn't want shit. But I never gave up. I came back.
Yep.
And proved everybody wrong. And for me, that's the biggest kind of victory in the rowing history.
Yep.
Coming back, doing it again. And in that final, I was like, I call it like 5 strokes away from the medal. I would never beat Mahe or Andre. They had a real hard fight.
Yes.
But I was leading that final as well. Because I rode quite well, but I was a little bit too hard on the second 500.
Yep.
So coming into the third 500, I was quite tired. And then we had a really blast of headwind. And I kind of lost it because I was so tired.
Yep.
So I kind of lost my rhythm. And Mahe went straight through it. Andre went straight through it. And then I used a couple of strokes to actually get back into rhythm.
Yes.
But I managed to sprint into the fourth. And then I think it was Griskonis taking the third place. Because I sprinted down Alan and yeah. But it's I'm happy with that fourth place.
Oh, and inspirational, mate. I think real credit to you. I saw you through a couple of those years, obviously, and as I said for this question, watching you grapple with trying to work out how to get back and how to get better and all that sort of stuff. So that conversation you had with those people around you, what was the hardest truth they gave you? What was the thing that was the most challenging to hear?
I don't know, because I did recognize all of the things myself.
Yep.
But I always survived most of them. And it's one thing, like it's a lot of people who always want to tell me or make me do less, blah blah blah.
Yep.
And as I said, like, yeah, I can do less, but if I do less, I also get bored.
Yep.
And if I cannot be myself, I'm going to do something else. So I'm quite honest that I could probably take a few better medals.
Yes.
During the years with doing less, but I wouldn't last that long.
Yeah.
Because that's a part of me.
Yep.
So, well, what we did quite a few years back, and like after Athens, when I got a new coach, and he wanted to put me in strains, and I was like, yeah, you can do that, and then I'm done in a year. But we can. I have to be Olaf. I have to be allowed to be crazy.
Yes. Yep.
But we can decide when it's okay for me to be crazy.
Yep.
And then when I have to behave.
Yeah. That's so good.
So then we had to make a routine coming into the World Cups, and when I had to like be a nice guy.
Yeah.
And that's the most boring time of the year. That's like the last couple of weeks before championship. I'm like, come on.
Conservative training is not your forte.
No. I just wanted to go. But I mean, you have to play with what you have.
Yep.
And sometimes it's going to take a couple of years to figure out how to do it best.
Yep.
But if you're trying to reform a person, you will kind of die inside.
Yeah.
But you can make some rules and when to do what. Like, for example, I dropped my oars after the World Championship, went playing football, squash, whatever, just having fun and train like hell.
Yes.
So that's but it was really hard. I did know that my rowing style went from not good to worse.
Yeah.
From 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, because I just did more of what I've done before.
Yeah. Yep.
Just harder. So I went down in the boat, pushed harder, and just trained harder.
Yep.
It was like crazy. So I did understand I had to do something with it.
Yep.
But again, it's really hard winning a couple of gold medals here and there and admit that what I'm doing now is not good.
Yeah.
I have to reshape my whole idea of the rowing stroke.
Yep.
That's it was a hard part.
Yeah, and there's an old saying, I think it was Wayne Goldsmith wrote a book called What Got You Here Won't Get You There. And that idea of what served us up to this point, often we've got to sort of unpick those threads a little bit and challenge ourselves. But it sounds like you're really up for the idea of doing things differently. And to see you have the longevity you had in the sport and be able to rise back was really awesome. True inspiration, mate. So let's do some rapid fire short stroke questions for you. What was your favorite drill over all those years? Doesn't matter what boat it was in. What was there a drill you went back to?
Drill or kind of interval training?
No, drill. What? Something you did as a technical drill.
Okay, let me go through. I just went off the water doing a lot of drills. Well, I did find a lot of help in rowing with square blades.
Yep.
So I could do 20 Ks without ever flipping around the oars.
Really?
Yeah. Because one of my bad things was my oars going up and down and not ready for the catch.
Yes. Yep.
So that kind of if you do it with square blades, you get hurt if you don't do it right.
I love that.
I love to do a lot of balance work in the boats.
Yep.
And for me, that was like kind of fun. And then it was a challenge. We played around in the boat and something that we actually did that I talked with Frederick about a couple of times. When we were done rowing and rowed kind of out cooling down, we tried to row like each another. So we kind of goofed around by simulating your technique and his technique, and then we overtook it.
Yep.
But we can adapt to
Love that.
whatever. We don't play enough.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we used to do a thing in the pair, which was we'd row like the Canadians, the Germans, the Italians, surfboat rowing. Yeah, surfboat rowing in Australia. And then we go, now we're going to row as long as we possibly can. And then we go, now we'll row our way, right? And so we did all these things as you're paddling across, 20 Ks on Varese. I love that. I love that way of working. What was your hardest session you ever did, you reckon? That the hardest, most demanding session on the water?
On the water?
Yep.
On the water was never too hard.
Really?
Yeah, well, I did. But I have I have some sessions off the water, which is
tell us about that.
Okay. So we have something we call circle B, which is like weights.
Yep.
So you do weights 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 reps. You just add week by week.
Yep.
So this session is like you warm up, takes you about 30 minutes.
Yep.
Cycle and erg and the whole body is ready. Then you do like 4 or 5 rounds of, I think I was up to 70 reps now.
Yeah.
And I had 12 exercises, I think. I know that I lifted 110 tons of weights on that session. And then we went to the yesing machine. You know the yesing?
Yeah, the old guessing rowing machine, yeah.
Yeah. And we did 20 times 1 minute as hard as it could, rate 19.
Oh!
and I tell you, it was like you pull so hard that the aluminium bar was like bent like this when it hit your chest. That was like any competition every single 1 minute piece.
How's that?
And then I had to cool down. And this took me about 3.5 hours, but I mean, yeah, go for it and you'll die.
Nuts.
It's crazy.
Brutal.
But the thing was like, you knew it was crazy. So you got energy because you were crazier than everybody else.
Yeah.
Otherwise, on the water is like, what is a real hard session on the water? I mean, you do 2Ks and you turn around, do another 2K, but it's kind of fatigue.
Yeah.
But if you do like the super comp that we normally had back in the days, like 6 times 500 in the morning, 4 times 1,000 in the afternoon.
Yep.
And then you swap around 4 times 1,000, 6 times 500. And the old coach is like, you go as hard as you can from stroke 1. When you die, and then you just keep going.
Go again.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah. And you knew that tomorrow is going to be hell again.
Love that.
It is hard, and it's supposed to be hard.
Yeah. And it's actually one of the things I think about the sport these days is we don't sort of celebrate the toughness and the demand of the sport enough and bring it to the surface, because I think spectators and audiences would relish knowing a bit more how physical it is. So tell me then, favourite venue that you competed at?
Come on, easy. You know the venue. I'll give you one shot.
There's only one.
There's only one. It's Lucerne.
Yeah, correct. Why do you love it, though? Why do you love it?
Come on, what can you not love about Lucerne? When they're laying at start, you hear attention, totally quiet, and then you have the cowbells, ding-a-ling-a-ling. So I'm home.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I feel at home.
Back on the farm, right?
Yeah. So ever so nervous, and then you have some goofy people doing some jumps on a bathing place there. Yeah,
the little swimming area. Yeah, it's a beautiful part. It's a beautiful stretch of water. I've described it to a few people, and a lot of our guests have shared that Lucerne's their favourite as well, and they've got different things for it. But that sense of the manure smell in the air, the cowbells, and that swimming area, and the other one we've heard recently from David Crawshay was the bar that is near the 1,000-meter mark, and the ability to go and have a beer after racing is one of those caps the weekend off, right?
No, that's Lucerne is special, and I mean, it's for me, it's like my home race course.
Yeah, love that. And last question for you, and really appreciate your time. With where the sport's going these days, what are you excited by in terms of the future of rowing?
I do like the idea of that we have to think a little bit new to reinforce a little bit. And I think we can't be afraid of failing. We have to test a few things, but keep the good old standard with the Olympic idea.
Yes.
It's like never let go of the Olympic idea. Don't be afraid to play around that idea as well.
Yep.
So, I mean, beach rowing suits me fine. Beach sprint, cool thing, you know? But rowing is about 2,000 meter battling. But we should adapt and look to other sports. I mean, rowing is only interesting 2,000 meter if you know somebody in the boat.
Yes, yep.
Or if it's a head-to-head race, that's when it's interesting.
Yep, right.
We did try out sprints. It didn't work out.
Yep.
We tried again with mixing up and some sprints. Too many countries are afraid of doing new things.
Yes.
Because the only thing they get measured on is medals in the Worlds or Olympics.
Yep.
So why should we be afraid? And I think, can we do something maybe not in the World Cups or add one more day when we first add it?
Correct.
So, I mean, come on. Try to do something, see what's fun, and think of the audience needs to have some fun.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we die as a sport.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be fascinating, wouldn't it, as to you have a World Championships that's maybe takes 4 days of finals racing or 3 days of finals racing, and you add a Sunday, which then becomes these more entertaining sort of activities, and you could be showcasing the sport in any number of ways and making it much more entertaining for the crowd and the audience and how they participate and get involved, couldn't you? So, but as you say, innovating the sport is exciting.
I have a really good idea. I haven't brought it forward yet because I didn't have the boats, but I want to do a competition, last man floating.
Okay, walk me through this.
Okay, so then every rowing club has so many old boats that they actually should have thrown away. So you start and you play rugby, everybody against everybody on the water with the boats. And the last guy who floats, he's the winner.
Love it. So they can bump into each other?
Yeah. Like, that's just like Armada Cup.
Yeah. Bump.
First order.
Last crew still floating. I love it.
Yeah.
I reckon the crowds would love that.
I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Mate, Olaf, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Thanks for joining us on Mercantile Radio. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure.